After over a year of waiting, Dune is finally here. Hey film fans, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of Dune. Dune, or Dune Part 1, is the new sci-fi film adapting the first half of the novel by Frank Herbert. And Dune is directed by Denis Villeneuve, and you got an amazing cast in this movie starring Timothee Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, Stellan Skarsgård, Jason Momoa, Javier Bardem. Wow, what a cast. The story of Dune is we follow our protagonist, who is Paul Atreides, played by Timothee Chalamet, who is heir to the House of Atreides. And his parents are Lady Jessica and Duke Leto Atreides, both played by Rebecca Ferguson and Oscar Isaac. Atreides are at war for Arrakis, also known as Dune, for a valuable substance known as spice. This was my most anticipated movie of 2021. I was just so excited for Dune. And I remember I had this as my second most anticipated movie of 2020 when it was supposed to come out then. It was behind Tenet. But because of the pandemic, Warner Brothers moved Dune to 2021. The reason I was excited for this movie, mostly because of Denis Villeneuve. I think he's a phenomenal filmmaker. I think he's one of the best and consistent directors we have working today. From Prisoners to Blade Runner 2049, I would range his films from A- to A+. Prisoners, which I absolutely love, still my favorite from him and one of the best crime films I've ever seen. Enemy, a great thought-provoking independent film from him. Sicario, another great crime film from him. Arrival, an amazing slow burn drama. And Blade Runner 2049, an amazing sci-fi sequel. And when I heard he was going to be adapting Dune, I was excited to see what his vision could be. I wasn't familiar with Dune prior to watching the first trailer. I've never seen the 1984 Dune film from David Lynch, and I heard there was a TV movie that I think came out in 2000s. Never seen that either. And I also bought the book of Dune recently, and I'm still reading this. I'm excited to continue reading this after watching this movie. The amazing and talented cast, the great trailers, and the great early reviews have made me even more eager to see this movie. And I saw Dune opening night, so enthusiastic. And now, my thoughts on Dune. This movie is incredible. Just had me in awe from start to finish. This movie is the next sci-fi epic. I am not exaggerating there. I felt like I was watching an epic. And Dune is honestly one of the greatest blockbuster spectacles I've seen in years. Up there with the original Star Wars trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Dark Knight, Mad Max Fury Road, just one of the best blockbusters I've seen in years. To start things off, Denis Villeneuve did a fantastic job directing this movie. He said he was excited and passionate to adapt Dune to the big screen, and I could truly believe it. He definitely felt passionate about the source material and wanting to adapt it as faithfully as he could. And also the epic and grand scope of the film. The production design in this movie is just absolutely tremendous. Everything from the sets and the practical location used to costumes are all terrific. The locations of Arrakis and also the House of Harkonnen are just amazing. And this is currently my pick to win the Oscar for Best Production Design, and I hope it wins. The visual effects in this movie are incredible. There are just so many good effects in this movie that made me think, could that be done practically? Is that CGI? It just looks so good. And this, I definitely think, is going to win the Oscar for visual effects. Eternals, I feel like, is close, but this is definitely going to win. When there are action scenes, I think they're great. I just think they're well crafted, intense, and thrilling. Luckily, I felt like the action scenes were appropriately placed, and I felt like there were stakes to them as well. Another thing that makes this movie work is the fantastic and pitch-perfect cast all around. I couldn't have thought of better choices for these characters. Timothee Chalamet as the lead, who is a young actor that is continuing to impress me with films like Call Me By Your Name and Little Women. I think this is my favorite performance Timothee Chalamet has given so far. I really like that Paul Atreides wasn't a flawless character. There's a lot that he's not prepared for. He has a lot to learn and be ready for. The emotions that Timothee Chalamet shows in this movie is fantastic. And this role definitely shows why he's one of the best young actors working today. And for me, the two standouts of the supporting cast. One who might be my favorite performance of the film is Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica. I loved her in the last two Mission Impossible movies, but with this film, she has shown to be an amazing actress. I love the mother and son bond between her and Paul. Just thought she did a fantastic job of playing a strong and compassionate mother who's willing to do anything to protect Paul. And another standout of the supporting cast for me, Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho, who's one of Paul's mentors slash friends. And I have liked Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but after watching this movie, I liked him even more, and this is so far the best I've seen Jason Momoa. I thought he brought a lot of intensity and charisma to the film. I loved his chemistry with Timothee Chalamet. The supporting cast is great. Oscar Isaac is terrific as Duke Leto Atreides. Josh Brolin is great as one of Paul's mentors. Javier Bardem is also in this movie. He's great. And now for the villains of the film, Harkonnen. And I thought Dave Bautista did a really good job as the nephew of Baron. And speaking of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, Stellan Skarsgård in this movie, oh, he was really good. Just the look of the Baron, just how creepy, menacing, and unsettling he was, Skarsgård nailed it. And if you were expecting Zendaya to have a big role in this film since she was shown a lot in the trailers and the advertising, you're gonna be a little disappointed since she's barely in this movie. She has minimal screen time. However, for what she did, I thought she did really good, and I felt like she does play an important role in the film. And she is going to play a bigger role in part 2, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from her then. Another thing I want to mention in this movie, Hans Zimmer's score is just terrific. This is honestly his best work since The Lion King and Inception. Just how unique and epic it feels. It has a great use of choirs and drums that just gave me goosebumps. And Hans Zimmer already won his Oscar for The Lion King. He should win his second Oscar for this movie. I could see some people having an issue with the length of the film since this is a 2.5 hour film, but to me, I actually felt like the slow burn story actually benefited the film. I was really immersed with the setting and the world building, and I was emotionally invested in these characters. And throughout the film, I was always engaged in the story, and not once did I ever feel like it was tedious or uninteresting. I felt like Denis Villeneuve did a great job of taking his time to tell the story deliberately and to making sure nothing feels rushed for this part 1 film to get us excited for part 2, to which I definitely am. However, the only negative thing I can say about Dune is the ending. Not the ending itself, but just how it ended. I wanted more. Just after watching this movie, just give me part 2 now. Overall, Dune lived up to the hype, and it's a sci-fi epic. Fantastic cast, terrific musical score, incredible visual effects, immersive and engaging story, and I thought Denis Villeneuve absolutely knocked it out of the park and shows why he's one of the best directors working today. Now this film is playing in both theaters and streaming on HBO Max, and it's okay if you feel comfortable watching this movie at home on HBO Max, that's fine. But please, see this movie on the biggest screen. This is a movie meant to be seen in the theaters. Just watching it with the biggest screen and best sound is just incredible. Please go watch this movie in the theaters. It's a quality film that deserves your money. And if you are a fan of the Dune novel and if you're excited to see this new adaptation, definitely check it out and just to hear what you think of it. Or if you haven't read the book and if you're looking forward to this film, do check it out. I'm excited to hear what you think of it. And I hope this movie does well at the box office, and I hope we get a part 2 because I don't want this story to be incomplete. I'm excited to see more. And overall, I'm going to give Dune, but bam! 5 out of 5 stars and A+. Definitely the best movie I've seen so far this year. This is right now tied with Arrival for my second favorite Denis Villeneuve film, and my number 1 is still Prisoners. I definitely think this movie is going to get a lot of Oscar nominations, and there is a part of me that is hoping this movie could win Best Picture. I'm curious to see where the competition goes. And I'm also hoping Denis Villeneuve is the frontrunner to win Best Director. He should absolutely win an Oscar for Best Director. So what do you guys think of Dune? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. It really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.